Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're doing something a little different. We're looking at 10 of the world's most captivating mysteries through a very specific lens, the startling visual evidence they left behind. Our planet is literally scarred by anomalies and bizarre structures that completely defy explanation. So let's look at the evidence.
Let's dive right in with a pretty fundamental question. What happens when our own eyes clearly see things that our science simply can't explain? We're talking about massive, undeniable physical evidence sitting right in front of us, demanding answers that we just don't have.
To figure that out, here's our roadmap for today. 1. Marvels seen from above. 2. Enormous earthly engineering. 3. Bizarre traces left behind. 4. Vanishings and unseen forces. And finally, will science solve them?
All right, Section 1, Marvel seen from above. These are anomalies you can only really comprehend from the sky.
Picture a perfectly circular 25-mile-wide concentric ring formation just rippling right through the Mauritanian desert. This is the reshot structure, also known as the Eye of the Sahara. If you look at it from orbit, it looks exactly like a giant, perfectly symmetrical bullseye, or, a massive impact crater.
Now, visually, the symmetry here is so striking that it actually perfectly matches Plato's physical description of the lost city of Atlantis. And as you can imagine, that fuels endless alternative theories. But the scientific consensus is a lot more grounded. Geologists maintain it's simply a deeply eroded geological dome that formed way before humans ever walked the Earth.
We see a really similar visual paradox over in the Peruvian desert with the Nazca lines. These are just massive, intricate depictions of monkeys, spiders, and killer whales, literally etched directly into the Earth. Science dates them between 200 BC and 600 AD, but the visual mystery is completely baffling. I mean, why would an ancient civilization go to such incredible lengths to create sprawling art that they could never actually fully see from the ground?
Moving on to Section 2. Enormous earthly engineering. We're looking at massive physical phenomena right on the ground.
To really grasp the reality of the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, you have to visualize this number, 2.3 million. That's the sheer number of stone blocks, each one weighing several tons, that were somehow moved, carved, and perfectly placed over 4,500 years ago. It's a mind-boggling feat of ancient engineering that we, even today, still struggle to physically comprehend.
But you know what? The exterior isn't even the biggest mystery here. Using modern cosmic ray technology, archaeologists have recently detected a massive, completely sealed chamber hidden deep inside. Our most advanced tech can literally see the void, but because it's never been breached, science absolutely cannot explain what it contains.
Now, on a much smaller landmass, Easter Island presents this staggering logistics puzzle. Between 1250 and 1500 AD, the Rapa Nui carved nearly 1,000 Moai statues. Some of these things stand 30 feet tall and weigh 80 tons. How a small, completely isolated society moved these monoliths across miles of rough terrain using only primitive ropes and tools, it remains one of history's fiercest debates.
And sometimes, nature itself is the mysterious engineer. Deep in Poland, there's a grove of roughly 400 pine trees planted back in the 1930s. Every single one of them grows with a bizarre, uniform 90-degree bend right at the base, and they are surrounded by entirely straight pines. Was it intentional human shaping for shipbuilding, crushing winter snowstorms, heavy World War II military tanks driving over them? There is zero scientific consensus. It's just a completely surreal visual landscape.
Which brings us to Section 3, Bizarre Traces Left Behind. Let's zoom in on some baffling artifacts.
The Voynich manuscript is a true visual enigma. It's a 15th century, 240-page handwritten text composed in an entirely unknown alphabet. And the visuals are just staggering. We're talking non-existent plant species, strange astrological charts, and naked figures bathing in intricate and frankly bizarre plumbing networks. The whole thing is so incredibly complex that the world's top cryptographers and AI programs haven't been able to decode a single sentence.
Then we have the horrifying physical evidence of the 1959 Dyatlov Pass incident, where 9 Soviet ski hikers perished in the Urals. The visual inconsistencies here are just baffling. They fled their tent into sub-zero temperatures without boots, yet the tent was slashed open from the inside. The bodies showed severe internal trauma, like what you'd see in a high-speed car crash, but had zero external wounds.
Decades of theories involving avalanches, military tests, or infrasound panic simply cannot reconcile with the chilling scene left behind.
Section 4. Vanishings and unseen forces. This is what happens when the evidence is a total void. Picture a 500,000 square mile void right in the Atlantic Ocean. In the legendary Bermuda Triangle between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, over 50 ships and 20 planes are rumored to have vanished into thin air without so much as a single distress signal. Now, scientists rightfully point to erratic weather and heavy traffic in the area, but the utter lack of visual debris, that is exactly what keeps the wilder lore alive.
That kind of eerie absence of evidence is perfectly captured by the Mary Celeste. Found completely adrift in December 1872, the ship was seaworthy, fully provisioned, and its cargo was completely intact. Yet the single lifeboat and all 10 people on board had just vanished. With completely normal log entries right up to the end, there is zero explanation for why an experienced crew would abandon a perfectly safe vessel.
Or consider the final known moments of D.B. Cooper in 1971. He hijacks a commercial Boeing 727 flight. A few hours later, he extorts $200,000 in cash and demands parachutes. Then, somewhere over the dark, freezing forests of Washington, he lowers the aft stairs and jumps right into a freezing storm. A highly visible, high-stakes hijacking transitioned instantly into an absolute void. He was never seen again, and the FBI officially closed the unsolved case decades later.
Finally, Section 5.
Will science solve them?
As our source notes, many of these mysteries are slowly yielding to modern technology. But the sheer human imagination and history behind them keep their legendary status alive. We know that modern tools like radar, cosmic ray scanning, and DNA testing are slowly piercing these veils, giving us incredible new ways to see the evidence. But the sheer scale of human imagination pretty much ensures these legends are going to endure.
So I'm going to leave you with this thought. As our ability to truly see with science improves, are we simply trading the magic of the unknown for even deeper, more complex questions? Next time you look at the world around you, remember that sometimes the things right in front of our very eyes are actually the hardest to truly understand. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning what you see.